This interview was never meant to be heard. Its words, locked away in shadows, were destined for oblivion, yet here they are, surfacing like whispers from a forgotten realm. In the autumn of 1899, in a dimly lit room in Chicago, Nikola Tesla, the enigmatic genius of electricity, granted a conversation that was immediately shrouded in secrecy. Official records deny its existence, dismissing it as myth, a fabrication born of fevered minds. But in 2024, in a dusty corner of a neglected library in Belgrade, a manuscript emerged, hidden within the brittle pages of an unmarked ledger. The papers, yellowed and fragile, bore the unmistakable scrawl of a man who saw beyond the veil of reality, a man whose visions reshaped the world. This was no ordinary document. It was a revelation, a confession from Tesla himself, penned in the hand of an anonymous journalist who dared to ask questions that pierced the boundaries of science and spirit. The manuscript began with a chilling warning: "These words may awaken humanity, or they may unravel it." This is not merely an interview, it is a testament, a glimpse into the mind of a man who heard the universe sing. The discovery sent ripples through the academic world, though few dared to speak of it openly. The ledger, found by a young archivist sorting through forgotten donations, was tucked inside a false compartment, as if its creator feared its power. Scholars whispered of its authenticity, noting Tesla's cryptic references to experiments with his Wardenclyffe Tower, a project that promised to harness the Earth's energies but collapsed under the weight of skepticism and sabotage. The manuscript's first page described the setting, a small room heavy with the scent of ozone and machine oil, where Tesla sat, his piercing eyes glinting under the flicker of gaslight. The journalist, whose name was deliberately omitted, recorded the moment with trembling hands, sensing that what he was about to hear would alter the course of his life. The air was thick with anticipation, the distant hum of Chicago's streets fading, as Tesla's voice, soft yet commanding, filled the space. "You ask of life, of death," he began, his accent sharp, his words deliberate. "But you do not yet understand the frequency of existence." The journalist paused, his pen hovering, unprepared for the weight of what followed. Tesla's words, as transcribed, carried a rhythm, a cadence that seemed to echo the vibrations he so often spoke of. He was not merely a scientist, the manuscript suggested, but a seer, a man who glimpsed truths that others dared not face. The document noted a long silence, Tesla's gaze drifting to the window, where the city's glow pulsed like a living thing. "What I will tell you," he said at last, "must remain hidden, for humanity is not ready." The journalist, emboldened by curiosity, pressed forward, his first question cutting through the stillness. "Mr. Tesla, do you believe life continues after death?" A faint smile crossed Tesla's lips, his fingers tracing the edge of a small metallic device on the table. "Belief is for those who lack vision," he replied, his voice steady. "I do not believe, I know." The journalist's breath caught, his notes capturing the moment with urgency, as if the universe itself leaned closer to listen. This was no idle claim, the manuscript made clear. Tesla spoke not from faith, but from observation, from experiments that pushed the boundaries of what science could measure. He hinted at signals received during his work with radio waves, signals that defied explanation, emanating not from distant stars, but from a deeper source, a cosmic reservoir of memory and thought. The journalist, overwhelmed, scribbled furiously, his questions growing bolder as Tesla's revelations unfolded. The room seemed to hum, the air charged with an unseen energy, as if the very walls resonated with the truths being spoken. This interview, the manuscript warned, was a spark that could ignite a new era or burn away the illusions that humanity clung to. The choice, Tesla implied, rested with those who would one day read his words. The journalist's pen trembled, his eyes fixed on Nikola Tesla, whose presence seemed to fill the small Chicago room with an electric charge. The manuscript, uncovered in 2024 from a forgotten Belgrade library, captured this moment with vivid clarity, its pages pulsing with the weight of truths too vast for the era. Tesla leaned forward, his long fingers steepled, his voice low, resonant, like the hum of a distant dynamo. "Everything vibrates," he said, his words cutting through the silence. "The stars, the earth, your heart, your thoughts. The journalist blinked, struggling to grasp the meaning, his notes sprawling across the page in hurried strokes. Tesla's gaze, sharp and unyielding, seemed to pierce the veil of reality, as if he saw not just the man before him, but the very fabric of existence. "You ask about life after death," he continued, "but you do not yet hear the music of the universe." The room, heavy with the scent of ozone, seemed to tighten, the air itself vibrating with the promise of revelation. Tesla spoke of frequency, a concept he claimed was the key to all creation. "Every particle, every soul, resonates at its own pitch," he explained, his hands gesturing as if shaping invisible waves. "The body is but a vessel, a string plucked by the hand of consciousness." The journalist, his mind racing, scribbled frantically, noting Tesla's calm certainty, his words flowing like a current through a coil. "Death is not an end," Tesla declared. "It is a change in frequency, a note that shifts to join the greater symphony." He paused, his eyes drifting to the window, where the faint glow of Chicago's lights pulsed in rhythm with his thoughts. The manuscript described this moment, Tesla's face illuminated by a strange serenity, as if he were listening to a melody beyond mortal ears. "Imagine a radio," he said, "tuned to one station, then turned to another. The signal does not die, it merely moves." The journalist's breath caught, his question faltering. "You mean the soul continues, like a broadcast?" Tesla nodded, a faint smile curling his lips. "Precisely. Consciousness is the signal, eternal, unbound." The manuscript recorded Tesla's voice growing softer, yet more intense, as he unveiled a vision that blurred the line between science and spirit. "My experiments with the Wardenclyffe Tower," he confided, "were not merely about power. They sought to touch the pulse of the cosmos." He spoke of vibrations, of energies that connect all things, living and inanimate, in a vast, unseen orchestra. "The universe sings," he said, "and every life is a note, every death a modulation." The journalist, overwhelmed, felt the room hum, as if Tesla's words had awakened something dormant in the air. "But how do you know this?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Tesla's eyes gleamed. "I have measured it, not with instruments alone, but with the mind, the heart." He described moments in his laboratory when the hum of his machines seemed to echo a deeper rhythm, a frequency that carried fragments of thoughts, memories, lives long past. The manuscript noted the journalist's awe, his realization that Tesla spoke not as a theorist, but as one who had glimpsed the infinite. This truth, Tesla warned, was both beautiful and perilous. "Humanity is deaf to its own song," he said, his tone heavy with urgency. "You chase machines, wealth, war, but you forget the vibration that binds you to the stars." The journalist's pen slowed, his mind grappling with the implications, as Tesla leaned closer, his voice a whisper. "To live is to resonate. To die is to harmonize, but only if you learn to listen." The manuscript captured the silence that followed, a stillness so profound it seemed the universe itself held its breath. The journalist, his heart pounding, knew he stood at the edge of a revelation, one that could shatter the foundations of science or lift humanity to new heights. Tesla's words, like a tuning fork, had struck a chord that would echo through time. The journalist sat ready to hear, his notebook trembling in his hands, as Nikola Tesla's words wove a tapestry of wonder and dread in the Chicago room. The manuscript, unearthed in 2024 from a Belgrade library's forgotten depths, described the air as charged, alive with an unseen current, as if Tesla's voice summoned energies beyond comprehension. His eyes, sharp and distant, seemed to trace patterns invisible to mortal sight, his fingers tapping rhythmically on the table, echoing the pulse of the universe. "You think death is silence," he said, his voice a low hum, resonant, piercing, "but it is a doorway to the eternal chorus." The journalist, his mind reeling from Tesla's earlier claims of frequency, leaned closer, his pen scratching furiously, capturing every syllable. The manuscript noted a flicker of intensity in Tesla's gaze, as if he were no longer speaking to the man before him, but to the ages, to those who would one day unearth his truth. "I have heard it," Tesla continued, "the song of all that was, all that is." Tesla spoke of signals, faint and elusive, received during his experiments with radio waves at the Wardenclyffe Tower. "They were not from planets, not from stars," he confided, his words deliberate. They came from a field, a reservoir of consciousness. The journalist's breath hitched, his question tumbling out. A field? You mean like ether? Tesla's lips curved, not in a smile, but in acknowledgement. Call it what you will. It is the memory of existence, the echo of every thought, every life. The manuscript recorded this moment, the room seeming to pulse, the gaslight flickering as Tesla described a network, vast and unseen, where the vibrations of all beings intertwine. I tuned my instruments, he said, and found not noise, but voices, fragments of joys, sorrows, dreams, preserved forever. The journalist, his heart pounding, struggled to comprehend, his notes describing Tesla's voice as a current, flowing through the darkness, illuminating truths too vast for the era. This field, Tesla explained, was no mere abstraction, but the foundation of reality. Every soul leaves its mark, he said. Every vibration lingers. Death does not erase, it releases. He likened it to a cosmic archive, a tapestry woven from the frequencies of countless lives, accessible to those who could listen. My machines, he whispered. They brushed its edges. They caught whispers of the past, hints of the future. The journalist, his mind ablaze, asked, "Are you saying the dead speak to us?" Tesla's eyes softened. Not speak, resonate. Their essence remains connected, eternal, in the field where time dissolves. The manuscript captured the journalist's awe, his realization that Tesla had glimpsed a realm where science and spirit merged, where the boundaries of life and death blurred into a single, harmonious vibration. Yet Tesla's tone grew solemn, his warning sharp. This truth is a gift, but also a burden. Humanity is not ready to hear the chorus. He spoke of the danger, of minds too small to wield such knowledge, of those who would twist it for power, for control. I kept silent, he admitted, for the world craves machines, not meaning, but I cannot carry this alone. The journalist, his pen faltering, felt the weight of Tesla's words, sensing the fragility of the moment, as if the universe itself hung in balance. "What does it mean for us?" he asked, his voice barely audible. Tesla leaned forward, his gaze piercing. "It means you are never alone. Every thought, every act echoes in the field. Death is but a return to the source, a reunion with the infinite." The manuscript noted the silence that followed, heavy, profound, as the journalist stared at his notes, his world reshaped by a vision of existence without end. Tesla's words, like a spark in the void, promised a dawn of understanding, but only for those brave enough to tune their hearts to the universe's song. The journalist's heart raced, his notebook nearly slipping from his grasp, as Nikola Tesla's voice filled the Chicago room with a quiet intensity, like a current surging through a darkened wire. The manuscript, discovered in 2024 in a Belgrade library's hidden cache, described the moment as electric, the air thick with the weight of truths that could reshape the soul of the world. Tesla sat upright, his gaunt frame radiating purpose, his eyes burning with a fire that seemed to draw light from unseen stars. "You hear the universe's song," he said, his words measured, resonant. "But do you know how to sing with it?" The journalist, his mind still reeling from Tesla's vision of a cosmic field, scribbled hastily, his pen struggling to keep pace with the torrent of revelation. The manuscript noted a shift in Tesla's tone, no longer merely reflective, but commanding, as if he addressed not just the man before him, but all of humanity, across the ages. Tesla spoke of alignment, of tuning the self to the frequencies of the cosmos. Each soul vibrates, he explained, his hands moving as if adjusting an invisible dial. But most are out of harmony, lost in discord. The journalist, his breath shallow, recorded Tesla's words, sensing their urgency, their plea. "Compassion, wisdom, love," Tesla continued. "These are the notes that raise your frequency, that bind you to the eternal." He described the human spirit as a receiver, capable of resonating with the universe's grand symphony, but only if cleansed of greed, hatred, fear. "Death is not the end," he said, "but its form depends on your pitch. A discordant soul wanders in shadows. A harmonious one ascends to light." The journalist, his eyes wide, asked, "You mean we choose our afterlife?" Tesla nodded, his gaze unwavering. "Every thought, every deed tunes your essence. You shape your eternity now." The manuscript captured Tesla's voice growing fiercer, his words a call to action. a warning etched in the vibrations of time. Humanity is deaf, he declared. You build towers of steel, but your hearts are silent. You chase power, but forget purpose. He spoke of his own inventions, the dynamos, the coils, as mere shadows of a greater truth, tools to awaken the spirit, not enslave it. My work was meant to free you, he said, his tone heavy with sorrow, but you use it to divide, to destroy. The journalist, his pen trembling, felt the weight of Tesla's disappointment, his vision of a world that could rise, yet chose to fall. How do we change? He whispered, his voice barely audible. Tesla leaned closer, his eyes piercing. Listen to the silence within. Feel the pulse of others. Act with love. Seek truth. This is the frequency of immortality. Tesla's warning, the manuscript noted, was not merely for the journalist, but for all who would one day read these words. The cosmos is patient, he said, but humanity is not. Your time to learn is short. He described a future where discord could shatter the earth, where machines, untempered by wisdom, would drown the universal song. You are one, he urged. Your vibrations touch every star, every soul. Harm one, you harm all. Lift one, you lift the infinite. The journalist, his mind ablaze, saw flashes of his own life, moments of kindness, moments of failure, each a note in the melody Tesla described. The room seemed to hum, the gaslight steady, as if the universe affirmed Tesla's plea. I speak now, Tesla said, because I cannot stay silent. My body fades, but my spirit seeks to guide. The manuscript recorded the journalist's awe, his realization that Tesla's words were a beacon, a map to align the soul with the eternal. The silence that followed was profound, heavy with promise, as Tesla's vision lingered, a challenge to live not in fear, but in harmony with the cosmos's unending song. The journalist sat in reverent silence, his notebook heavy with the weight of Nikola Tesla's words, as the Chicago room seemed to pulse with an unseen rhythm, a heartbeat of the cosmos itself. The manuscript, uncovered in 2024 from a Belgrade library's secret trove, described this moment as transcendent, the air shimmering with the resonance of truths that could either save or shatter the world. Tesla, his frail form illuminated by the faint gaslight, spoke with a quiet power, his voice a melody weaving past, present, future into one. The universe is a symphony, he said, his eyes gleaming with the light of distant stars, and you, all of you, are its players. The journalist, his pen steady now, absorbed each word, his heart stirred by a vision so vast it seemed to stretch beyond the confines of the room, beyond time itself. The manuscript noted Tesla's calm, his certainty, as if he stood at the threshold of eternity, offering a final gift to those who would listen. Tesla spoke of harmony, of a world where humanity could join the cosmic chorus. You are not separate, he said, his hands gesturing as if conducting an invisible orchestra. Your vibrations ripple through the field, touching every soul, every star. He described consciousness as eternal, a note that never fades but transforms, ascending to higher frequencies when tuned by love, truth, creation. Death is but a pause, he whispered, a moment when the soul retunes, rejoins the source, the infinite song. The journalist, his mind alight, asked, what awaits us then beyond? Tesla's smile was gentle, profound. Peace, for those who sought light, growth, for those still learning, the cycle continues. Yet freedom is possible. The manuscript captured this, Tesla's vision of a universe where no life is lost, where every experience, every act of kindness weaves into the eternal tapestry, a melody that endures. Yet Tesla's tone grew solemn, his gaze piercing the journalist's soul. This truth demands responsibility, he said. To know you are eternal is to know your actions echo forever. He warned of a world teetering on discord, where humanity's obsession with power drowned the universal song. You must choose, he urged, to live as fragments or as one, to destroy or to create. The journalist, his breath catching, saw flashes of wars, of machines, of hearts grown cold, and felt the urgency of Tesla's plea. How do we choose? He asked, his voice trembling. Tesla leaned forward, his words a beacon. Live for others, seek wisdom, love without fear. This is the frequency that lifts you to the stars. The manuscript noted the journalist's awe, his sense that Tesla's words were not merely advice, but a map to immortality, a call to align with the cosmos's unending rhythm. The room grew still, the gaslight steady, as Tesla's final words hung in the air. A promise, a challenge. "I speak because my time is near," he said, his voice soft yet unwavering. "My body fades, but my spirit will sing on, in the field where all paths meet." He looked to the window, where the first hints of dawn touched the sky, and added, "You fear death because you forget. You are the music, you are the light." The journalist, his notebook closed, felt a shift within, as if Tesla's vision had retuned his own frequency. The manuscript recorded their parting, a simple nod, a shared understanding, as Tesla stood, his silhouette framed by the morning's glow. "Carry this truth," he said, "not to force, but to awaken. Let those who seek find their note." The journalist stepped into the dawn, the city's hum now a faint echo of the cosmic song, his heart resolved to live not in fear, but in search of harmony, knowing the universe, and he, would never cease to sing.